How's it going, guys? It's Gregor, aka Captain Price, and in this video I'm going to break down my thoughts on the trailer and potential story-driven aspects of the newly announced Call of Duty game from Infinity Ward, that being Infinite Warfare. Now, I'm a die-hard Twitch FPS junkie, much to the dismay and chagrin of many of my friends, but we won't talk about them. I suspect that this year is going to be pretty good in terms of that department, in terms of that genre. I can't really comment on this whole thing without taking into account the large amount of backlash this trailer seems to be getting, most of which seems to be coming from the idea that people are opposed to this game's sci-fi setting. Now, I'll save my personal opinion on that until the end of the video, but first let's talk a little bit about the game itself and the trailer itself. So, here's the skinny, right? Activision looks like they're really banking on the premise of this game, because the basic concept of it anyway is distinctly different than another game that Infinity Ward was working on for a while, Ghosts. And Ghost wasn't received particularly well. It looks like the potential for a sequel to that game has gone down the drain. Smart move, in my opinion, if you ask me. It's certainly still a risk for COD to be going in this direction, though. We already have a plethora of sci-fi shooters coming out this year, and I'm sure it would be very difficult for this game to distinguish itself among the others in the mix. But I think it is distinct. I'm going to explain why. I think the developers are trying to do something deliberately different with this game as compared to other ones in terms of the scale, the sense of scale that they are reaching out to with this sci-fi setting. The whole near-future sci-fi aspect of the past few Call of Duty games is getting a little bit worn out, right? Everything takes place on planet Earth. There's some cool gadgets, there's some neat technology, but that's really about it for the most part, right? Now, we're literally out in space. We have massive capital ships in outer space, zero-G stuff, space stations, even colonization of entire new worlds. That's huge, okay? I know that a lot of people are going to make the whole Titanfall 2 comparison, whatever, it's fine. I think if Infinity Ward puts as much focus as they can into the sheer grandiose spectacle here, right? It's a different kind of Call of Duty, in my opinion. I honestly think it can work. The space opera elements of this are pretty distinct to me too, in terms of the story, in terms of the narrative, right? If you've ever read The Expanse or watched Gundam, you know about the whole Martian colonists waging war on Earth kind of storyline. It's a trope that seems to be coming up a lot recently, but did you really expect that from a Call of Duty game? Probably not. Someone's going to comment saying, "Oh, I saw it coming." Well, good for you, huh? In the reveal trailer, there's audio remarking on the so-called Settlement Defense Fund. I'm assuming Mars, right? And in another trailer, there's this really angry bald guy who also claims to be from this so-called Settlement Defense Fund, and he's gonna blow up the whole world, and Ascension, and yada yada yada, sci-fi drama dialogue, right? It's usual fare. But there are a few elements that I really liked about the reveal trailer, though, and upon further review, despite the flack that this game is getting, I'm actually slightly intrigued to see where it's going, though my thoughts on the game will ultimately be determined by how it functions mechanically, like anything else. Still, I am intrigued by the concept of this global coalition kind of story. There are a couple things in the trailer I noticed that point to this. One, if you look at this ship here, it has its name written on the back as UNSA, something or other. But UNSA, huh? United Nations Space something? You also see UNSA on this big robot here. So there's definitely two factions here. It's very cut and dry. And this character also stuck out to me, this woman. See this flag on her shoulder? That's the flag of Lebanon. Okay, so further on, you see the flag of the UK on another soldier's shoulder. But I think a lot of people are really overlooking the significance of this Lebanese soldier, alright? So a relatively reserved country in the Middle East fighting in an international coalition. That's honestly really cool. Like, I applaud Infinity Ward for such a move, really. It's refreshing to see this kind of stuff, as it would have been just as easy for them to have the usual sort of America and XYZ usual Western European suspects as the forefront of this game, and it doesn't seem to be the case here. It really does look like they are deliberately trying to craft this global coalition sort of narrative. And this character seems to play a significant role in the game because she shows up quite a bit in this trailer. So is this a cash grab for the Lebanese Call of Duty audience? How big is that? I think this is more deliberate than that. Anyway, yeah. I know that the reception to this game has been very, very negative so far, and we've only seen a trailer for it, but I think based off of what we've seen, there's potential for a mature, much more relatable kind of Call of Duty game. And I'm the kind of person that thinks that art is a representation of culture. It's a representation of what people are thinking, whether the messages portrayed in that art are obvious to them or not. This grandiose sci-fi approach to Call of Duty is distinctly different than what we've seen in the past, and I think that's honestly a good thing. I just hope that they get it right. I hope and dream that they get it right, because if they don't, I'm pretty sure Infinity Ward is going to get the axe, and we'll see the end of this series. Many people want to see the end of this series. Hey, you can hold whatever opinions you want about this kind of stuff, but I think it's kind of silly to demand that other people not enjoy these games just because you don't like them. Well, food for thought. But those opinions are my own, and I'm an unashamed Twitch shooter junkie, and I need to shoot up real quick. What do you guys think? I'll keep this game on my radar for the time being. I hope that I've said something with at least a little bit of substance in this video, though. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe for more content like this in the future, and give the video a thumbs up. It really does go a long way. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching.